When you're trying to pass something through the House, you want to work as a conference. The American people elected a House Republican majority to serve as a check and balance and to be able to govern.
Yeah.
And so some of my colleagues have, frankly, been stuck on stupid and refused to do what we were elected to do against the vast majority of the conference who have been working to avoid a shutdown.
Republican lawmakers are at the breaking point as the federal government nears a shutdown, with Congressman Mike Lawler openly griping that his colleagues are stuck on stupid and playing politics with American lives. Well, what else is new?
We've heard from some of those on the far right saying that they will campaign against you and other New York Republicans who are in more moderate areas if you choose to do that. What's your response to your fellow colleagues who are threatening that?
Bring it. I mean, give me a break. Look, I'm in a district that Joe Biden won by 10 points. There's 70,000 more Democrats than Republicans. I was elected to be an adult, to be serious, to be sober, and to govern. And to my colleagues that have put their own personal, views and, position ahead of the conference, go right ahead. You want to come at me? I'll take that fight any day.
And Lawler isn't the only Republican that other Republicans are talking about primarying next year. Across the GOP, the hard-right Freedom Caucus is now threatening to try and defeat any Republican who stands between them and shutting down the government. That would devastate the GOP next year, because if the Freedom Caucus makes good on even a fraction of their threats, they could easily flip every seat Democrats need to regain control of the House. That's before Democrats even start campaigning. The risk of a shutdown is so great that Republican leader Mitch McConnell is actually joining forces with Democrats to try and pass something in the Senate to keep the government open. And if McConnell's speech on Wednesday is any indication, he's done playing nice with Kevin McCarthy and the dysfunctional House.
But these important discussions cannot progress if Congress simply fails to complete our work on standard short-term funding, and the basic functions of government end up being taken hostage. So, Mr. President, a vote against a standard short-term funding measure is a vote against paying over $1 billion in salary for Border Patrol and ICE agents working to track down lethal fentanyl and tame our open borders.
That's right. Mitch McConnell is openly calling Kevin McCarthy weak on immigration unless he passes a short-term bill to keep the government open. And McConnell made clear that if the House refuses, they're on their own in 2024. But don't expect anyone in the House to actually listen to the Senate, because even if senators can pass a funding bill, Republican Congressman Byron Donalds made clear it won't even get a vote in McCarthy's House, because the Freedom Caucus said so.
The Senate's bipartisan proposal.
Yeah.
What do you make of it? Would you support that if McCarthy brought it to the floor?
No, that thing is dead over here. Are you kidding me?
Why?
Well, first of all, you continue spending. You have $6.2 billion for Ukraine. They do nothing to secure our southern border. That is just a non-starter. The Senate needs to get real. You've all seen the images at the southern border. It has to stop immediately. And this government should not continue to be funded if we don't secure our border.
At this point, it should be pretty clear to you that no one in the House knows what they're actually talking about, because it's a shutdown that defunds the Border Patrol. Right now, the United States is careening towards another Republican-led shutdown at lightning speed. Instead of actually funding the government, Republicans spent much of Wednesday holding theatrical votes that hold no actual chance of being agreed to in the Senate, including reducing the salaries of their political enemies to just $1 a year. A bright idea brought to you by none other than Lauren Boebert.
So the chair now recognizes the gentlewoman from Colorado.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise today to offer my amendment that utilizes the Holman Rule to reduce the salary of Sean Kelly, Assistant Secretary of Defense for Readiness. That salary shall be reduced to $1. As DOD's highest-ranking trans official, this delusional man, thinking he is a woman, embodies and espouses the wokeism that's causing significant harm to our military readiness and troop morale.
Sean Skelly is transgender. That's it. That's the real reason Boebert keeps referring to Skelly, a woman, as he and him. It's why she wants to reduce Skelly's pay to $1. Part of the reason Republicans are prepared to send our economy into a recession. It's just bullying. And all that moralizing is actually pretty rich coming from Lauren Boebert of all people. While Republican lawmakers were busy mocking trans people and threatening to defund the police unless Joe Biden kicked the gays out of the military, regular Americans are waiting to hear whether their basic social services will actually be available. So far, Republicans haven't come up with an answer to that basic question. By now, we should be fully aware that this is the only playbook that Republicans know how to use. There have been 5 federal shutdowns in recent history. All of them took place under a Republican-led House. Not a single one happened when Democrats were in charge of making sure America's bills got paid on time. The GOP has 1,000 stupid reasons for driving America off the cliff, from wokeness to hate for transgender Americans to a desire to see Russia win its war in Ukraine. Unfortunately for our country, it looks like Republicans are about to get their shutdown, and it'll be you who pays the price. And if you think that was a lot, check out this video.
So much food and water stored down there to feed the whole United States for about 10 years.
And as always, leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.